and good afternoon, artists and wonderful people of digital media. It is Tuesday, the 17th of September. Tuesday, the 17th of April, and I am currently on jury duty. My wonderful friend Paula Kramer is here subbing for me with you, and I wanted to begin the class by looking at the assessment criteria for this project that you're currently doing on representation, media and representation. So big picture, you have the remainder of today to finish this project. It is due at the beginning of class on Thursday of this week. Once again, it's due at the beginning of class, so today is your last day to work on it in class. And you have had a lot of choice in which project you choose. So let's look just for a moment at how you're going to be graded on whatever project you do. By the way, I'm doing a screencast from my machine at home, which is pretty easy to do with QuickTime, and I'm going to be uploading that video to YouTube, which is how you're watching it. So this is the document, which is the project choices for the representation project. Once again, you're going to be diving deeper into an area of representation, which is either gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, social class, and the ways in which media is influencing that issue. So there's your project. Regardless of what you're doing, your project needs to meet these skills and aspects to be considered a 4, which is that you've mastered this. Doesn't mean it needs to be perfect, but it means that you are demonstrating beyond proficiency. So looking at it specifically, your project offers a fresh perspective on one of the categories studied. Many of you are looking at gender, for example, with your project, either doing a photo shoot or kind of changing gender norms by having males, traditional males, dress up in quote-unquote female clothing and so forth. This one really is, I want you to pay attention to the language here. You're offering us a fresh perspective. How is your project asking us to think about something new? How is it teaching us something new? How is it creating another layer for us to consider that we have not already done in class or gone out and looked at other things through the web? You're thinking creatively, your work is personal, relevant, and offers insight. So again, the idea is that you're generating new information as opposed to copying or regurgitating something that's already existing. You avoid cliches and stereotypes because, of course, that's what we're focusing on, the aspect of how media is influencing our culture's lens on one of these issues. You're asking the audience to think about or rethink a perspective on one of the issues, and you're providing an opportunity for learning. Again, how are you asking us to consider something new? What is it that you want us to leave with? So are you asking us to change our behavior? Are you asking us to shift how we think about a lens? If so, how are you going to generate that thinking? And maybe how are you going to capture that interest in that thinking? You detail specific ways in which mass media contributes to the idea of representation. So again, this is about media. This is a digital media class, and this aspect of media literacy is focusing specifically on how media tells a specific story about representation. So again, you're asking the audience to think about or do something different. Some of you I've asked you to consider an aspect of your project. So once we have consumed your project, how are you going to know that it's been effective? How are you going to know that we are thinking about something different? Do you want to include in your project a way to capture our reaction to it, our perspective? There's lots of ways to use social media or technology to capture audience reactions. So that's about all I've got to say on the issue. I really want to emphasize that, your project really needs to offer a fresh perspective. It's asking us to consider something. You are providing something that we haven't already covered in class. And The remainder of the day is yours. Please use Miss Kramer as a resource. She's had a very interesting life and has all kinds of perspectives and creative suggestions she might be able to help you with. The remainder of today is yours. I will keep in touch with you about what happens with jury duty. I very much look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Fingers crossed. Oh, and before I finish, just to remind you that on the Level 1 assignments page, if you're looking for those criteria, list of project choices and the grading criteria can be linked or is linked from the class website. By clicking here, you open up that document that I was just using. Have a fantastic day. If you need anything from me, please don't hesitate to email me. I might be able to answer emails during the day if I'm just sitting in the jury room. If I'm on a case, I, of course, won't be able to until the evening. Okie doke, enjoy the day and be productive.